Hi everybody. Well, the film I'm going to show you now is one that we did in August, September of last year, 95. It was a trip all over Western Australia, or mainly the inland part of Western Australia, the desert part. And we're going to call it West to the Wildflowers. Now I have a map here that I'll show you. It'll give you a bit of a fair idea of where we went and the location at the different times as the film rolls along. We started off from Melbourne down here, went up to Mildura, across to Port Augusta, up to Alice Springs. Now all that was on bitumen. Doesn't really count, we didn't bother counting that really. And then from Alice Springs, that's where the real trip started. From the Alice Springs we went straight across, due west, across the desert there. Really it's the desert, but it's all spinifex mainly, and most of the track is, quite a bit of the track is just two wheels in it, with the spinifex in the middle. But anyway, from Alice Springs across there to where we joined up with the Canning Stock Route was roughly about 800 odd kilometres, and we brought the petrol for it just in case, because a little way down from there where we joined up with the Canning Stock Route is we had to order our fuel beforehand, because there's no petrol stations out there at all, and so we had to order the fuel, and you have to order it by a 44 gallon drum. That's 200 litres at a time, and they bring it out and drop it down to you before you get there, of course. It's a couple of weeks before you get there. It's got your name on it, and when you get there then you open it up and have a pump. There's a pump there, and you pump it back into your tanks to refill it up. So that's what we did. We went right across the Punya track down the Canning Stock Route to well 23. That's where they left the fuel. Then from well 23 we went through the Rydell National Park. That's a new national park in West Australia. Very nice. And from there we went across to Marble Bar, and we stayed a few days at Marble Bar. Matter of fact, I rang Maisie from there by the Flying Doctor radio. And from Marble Bar we went out to the coast down to Coral Bay and Exmouth. That was very nice. We saw the coral and the fish around the coral reefs and that. It was really nice. Then from Coral Bay we went back to the Hammersley Ranges, Mount Tom Price and so forth. And then from there we worked our way down through the wildflowers along the way there, which is pretty rugged country down there, and down to Meekatharra. Then from Meekatharra it was bitumen. The bitumen road out to a place here where it's the junction of what they call the Wildflower Way. It's specifically a special area that they have that is very, very beautiful wildflowers, and I'll second that motion too. It really was magnificent. So we went down the Wildflower Way, and then from there we worked our way through to Kalgoorlie, then down Norseman, and then across to Nullarbor. Around about the Nullarbor area we went over to the cliffs and had a look down, and you wouldn't believe it, there's about 4 or 5 big whales sporting about, and we had really good shots of the videos from that. And then from there we worked our way to Port Augusta. Then from Port Augusta the other couple was with me, a daughter and son-in-law. They went from there back to Melbourne, and I went through Broken Hill back to Ballina. So without any more ado, I'll get cracking, show you the film, and in the meantime I'll light the fire up and have a good cup of tea. Well, that's all the rigs are ready now, ready for a start on our trip over to Western Australia and the wildflowers. It has been very strong, but it's dropped right down now. Okay, and doing the cooking. Our first night out at Mildura.
In a miracle of nature, the seeds of the desert wildflowers can lie dormant in the sand for years until exactly the right combination of temperature and moisture comes along to trigger the germination. The sandhills, plains and the rocky ridges are alive with colour. Glen Helen Gorge has been carved out by the Finke River as the floodwaters rush south to the Simpson Desert, and major flooding back in 81 banked up so high that it flooded the nearby tourist accommodation.
This is a big country, fella, I tell you. I've been 3,500 k's to get here on the black bitumen before we started doing anything. Now, we've got over 2,000 k's to go over dirt, sand, whatever, and gibbons to get to the Hammersley Ranges and Marble Bar. But I'm looking forward to it. But by the golly, you have to come a long way to get there. Happy motoring, customers. That was Goss's Bluff. There's thought to be a mountain range until recently. Geologists have found that it was definitely a meteorite crater. And it turned out it's now the largest, by far, the largest meteorite crater in the world.
Oh wow, look at that! Camels! We haven't seen much wildlife here.
Field of wild lavender. It's got a beautiful scent, going by for quite a long time. It's an Aboriginal word called Mamagongara. That's the name of the range. Don't ask me to say it again. It's a big, long range.
As evening approaches and the air becomes cooler, we are lucky to see one of those desert geckos. They are quite small and naturally they're very cautious of our presence. This marker, or survey marker, was placed here on the Northern Territory of Western Australian border by an Australian chap called Len Bedell, who pioneered the road building all through the Central Australian deserts. Len Bedell, who has been called the last of the true Australian explorers, was born in 1923 on a farm at West Pennant Hills in New South Wales. While he and his team were building this track, his vital ration truck caught fire and burnt right out, and here you can see all that remains of it. He carried out the first survey for the establishment of the Woomera Rocket Range. Since then, he has made more than 6,000 kilometres of lonely roads across the Central Australia, including the famous Gun Barrel Highway. In 1958, as Range Reconnaissance Officer of the Weapons Research Establishment in Salisbury, South Australia, he received the British Empire Medal. This is just a sample of the sunsets you get out west. Particularly if there's some cloud about over towards the west where the sun sets, it brings up the beautiful pearly colours in the clouds and also the deep red of the earth. They're really magnificent. These magnificent desert oak trees are mostly confined to this part of Western Australia. Their white and dark weeping foliage makes them an inspiring feature of this sandplain habitat. Jupiter Wells is situated amidst the beautiful stand of these desert oaks. The Wells was given this name as at this point the star Jupiter was most noticeable. This place also was Len Bedell's headquarters camp for all his northern roads. We found this well to be really good, clear drinking water. This is Gary Junction, and then it is where the Papunya Canning track on which we have been travelling meets the Gary Highway. There is a plaque naming such embedded in a 44-gallon drum. This track that we're on now was built around the 60s. It was hardly been any traffic since, so it's fairly rough and eaten away with the weather. Many of the roads opened up by Lynn Bedell bear the names of his wife and children. There's the Ann Bedell Highway after his wife, the Connie Sue Highway after his oldest daughter, the Gary Highway after their son, and Jackie Junction after their youngest daughter. This is about halfway between Alice Springs and Marble Bar. I don't think there's any more remote place in Australia. There's no such things as shops, taps of water for that matter. Certainly no McDonald's or that sort of caper. But as you look around, there's just nothing but scrub and bush, both sides. But we had advantages of going through, although you can't see them at the moment. I didn't stop here for the moment for that. But you can see them along the track. Thousands and thousands of carpets of flowers of different colours of the wildflowers. They're absolutely magnificent. So you have your compensations coming to these places. That's why we do it. I just want to show you something here. This Spinifex is a real dry type of plant. Some of these go up to that high, you'll probably seen on some of the photos we've done. And this is very spiky, it's thick, in here. That starts on a small bush, that's one a reasonable sized bush. Now I'll show you what eventually happens to it. Now this one's a much older bush. You can see the centre has started in the centre and it's grown up and it spreads out in a big ring. A good example of Spinifex. It's isolated from the field. Generally it's in a solid mass of Spinifex and you can't tell one from another. Now this is the head of it with all the seeds on it. Now when the time comes to shed their seeds, the air is absolutely solid thick, like a locust blade of Spinifex seeds. I've got in front here, I've got a normal screen. That's just a normal screen. That'll help to stop butterflies and grasshoppers, that type of thing, plus stones of course, of getting through in your radiator. Now if it does get really bad with those seeds that I've just been talking about, what we have is fine gauze. We'll put right across to the back there and tie it down so that it'll stop it going in the radiator. We can still only go so far because we've still got to stop and get them out of the gauze again and go on, otherwise it'll be so full of massive seed that the radiator can't get any air through it.
right at the junction of the Kitson track, coming from there, and the Canning Stock Road, all the way from there, going up from Horse Creek down to Wiluna. And you'll never guess in a million years what we found here, right at the junction. I'll show you. A million miles from anywhere, and here we are. A telecom phone booth. All the mod cons. There we are trying to do our phone calling through the whole Flying Doctor radio.
Yes, can I put on the first chart through to Melbourne, please?
Good. Thank heavens they've gone. Now for a bit of peace and quiet, because this looks like it's going to be a great spot. It's lovely and peaceful, plenty of little birds, and there's water, beautiful drinking water coming out from the windmill. Cheese and dry biscuits a la carte.
The latest in Chapose.
Here's Mum, barefoot and in the laundry. Ah, this is gorgeous, beautiful, clean, fresh water. Makes it lovely and get all the dust off you. It's marvellous. Here's Jan at the cooking pot. It looks like stewed camel and chili beans, but it'll go down all right. Well, the night's closing in now, and in the distance you can see coming this way is dark clouds, lightning and flashing and thunder. Looks like a storm's coming, so we'll have to batten down the hatches for the night.
Well, 31. Broken away at the top a bit. This is one of the wells that they brought smell out to fix up, because over the years they dilapidated. A chap named Canning put all the wells right through and formed the Canning stock route for the purpose of watering stock in those days, long before the days of when the trucks transport them. The old metal bucket was on a windlass. The windlass was on top of that, of course, and you wound that down, put that down, filled that with water, and brought it up, and that's how they got the water. They filled the troughs up for the cattle, and so they could have a drink. Well, there we are. Well, there's it gives you an idea of what it's like here, the harshness of this country. Two camels died together, they've been dead a while, but evidently they couldn't make it to water. And water's one of the main things you need on life for all living animals, us included. So that just gives you an idea of the harshness of this country. And if you're caught without water, that's it, it's curtains. Well, 30. It's been a long, long haul from 31, I can say that. Only travelling at about 10 to 15 k's an hour over stony ridges nearly all the way, twisting and turning in between the trees. Eventually working our way down to well 23. That's where we'll fill up our fuel. We've got a 44-gallon drum, or 200 litres, of diesel to be picked up between the two of us so we can continue on. We haven't had any to fill up for quite a few days. We're getting a bit lean on it, but we'll be right. Okay. Here we are. You wouldn't credit this. Snow on the Canning stock road. No, it's not snow. It's that little candy tuft type wildflower. just everywhere. We get down in the ladder, do we?
Shit, yeah, hang on.
Keep it all down there. High and hot. Oh, fresh air. Beautiful. Getting dark down there. Yeah, now we've got to get out. Well, down in there, these are some old limestone caves. A few stalagmites and stalactites down there. You've got to crawl through a tunnel about 30 metres, and that opens out to a little cavern where there's a pool of water. You've got to be careful of the bats and the dung underneath and the bats on top. But more importantly, you've got to be careful of all the snakes that's down there. However, everything turned out all right. Well, that's what it is. This is just near well 30 in the limestone caves on the Canning Stock Road.
This section we are now on is the part of the Canning Stock Road from well 33 to well 23 where we pick up our fuel. But between that, there's quite a number of sand hills. And they're quite numerous, some not so large, but the larger ones, particularly those that has a right-hand bend at the bottom of it where you can't get a good run up, they're proving a little difficult. We had to let the tyre down a little bit, and it was quite a bit difficult to crest the top, but we made it.
Well, that's where we're heading for at the moment, Spring Rock. I believe when you get on top there, it's a fantastic view. You can see Lake Disappointment and a few other ones that you really can't see from a normal level. Even on the top of the sand dune you can't see it. So we're heading down there for Spring Rock, and we'll have a climb and we'll take a view and we'll take a picture and video of the view up there too. We're looking around to see where we are. I believe you can see Lake Mackay to the left. I'm just looking to see if you can see Lake Disappointment, but I don't think so. The sand dunes are in the way. How's your eye, Jen? Can you make out anything of this? I can see that lake. Victor India Papa 57 calling Alice Springs, Victor Juliet Delta. Have you got a copy, please?
VJD, receiving you loud and clear, Victor India Papa 57.
Right, now I'm just reporting in Alice Springs. I'm just reporting in the coordinates where we are at the moment on the Canning Stock Route. It is 22 degrees 33 south, 125 degrees 52 east. The weather's fine, quite a decent easterly breeze out here. Over.
Could you repeat those second coordinates again, please?
125 degrees 52 east. That was the second one. Did you get that, Alice Springs? Over.
Yes, that's correct. That's Victor India Papa 57. That must be you, Bill. I hope you're having a good time. This is VJD, over and out. We'll catch you next time.
Okay, thank you. Over and out.
Good one. Oh, that's not too hard, that one. There's plenty of wildflowers here around here at the moment, is there? Not that many. They come in patches. When they're here, they're here. They're real pretty. I can't wait till I get over near the Kalbarri and the coast and think it's an entirely different type of flower there too. Got a left-hander going up. Wide. That was a mild one, that one. Twisting and turning, twisting and turning. Have to go up another one here soon. It's closed in like the other one. Down in a series of valleys of sand hills. Up and over. And another dip and over again. Good fun finding the sand, isn't it?
As the sandhills became more difficult, we hooked the two vehicles together with our A-frame, forming an 8-wheel drive combination. This made cresting the sandhills a piece of cake. It's pretty exciting travelling so close to the vehicle in front. Although all 8 wheels have to spin in the sand for the A-frame to work, we have to make sure that the back vehicle doesn't push too hard. If the back vehicle does push too hard and the front vehicle has to turn sharply, it could push the front vehicle sideways and ultimately overturn it.
Shit, we lost it.
See what I mean?
What was that?
846. 846. Well, 27. G'day, folks.
How far to get to there, roughly?
25 kilometres.
From here?
Yes.
All right. Well 27, there's some water in it, and there's a semblance of the old handle they used for those buckets, and they used to pour it in that trough here. It was on an angle, on a slope, and that would fill with water, and the cattle could drink out of it. To get here, I wouldn't like to count how many sand hills we went over, but there were quite a few. And I think, as you see somewhere in the video, how we did some of them. We did some of them with these, with what they call an A-frame, joining the two cars together, making an 8-wheeler. And it was fantastic. It just crawled up from as easy as pie. Anyway, it's hot. The flies are rare. And Jen's making our lunch, and we'll go and have it. Okay. Beautiful. Lovely. Oh, I think you saw how to pull it up on the winch. Well, 26. Yep. Tiwa well, number 26 it is. I'll remember that. Now listen what they used to do. On all the wells, they used to put this trough here for the cattle to come and drink from. When they used to drive them through in the canny stock route years ago. before the days of the motorised transport. But now, there's very little as well as this has been reconstructed and it's terrific. Of course, cattle don't use it, we use it, but we'll leave the water here. Of course, what's the point in letting it go and letting I bet you the animals will come and use it tonight. There's little fences just around there when there's just little drips. Oh no, we're having the time of their life. Oh well, that's it. Good.
What a rare sight, a plains turkey with a chick. And isn't the chick keeping very close to mum? Grass fires are a part of nature out here in the desert, and they combine with rain to produce a startling variety of different wildflowers.
Start looking at some pump theory.
Up, sir. This is well 23, or the fuel dump of well 23. It's 1k away from it, north of it. We're pumping, you have to order and buy these before you leave the track, before you leave home, these drums, and they come up, and I bring them out towards Newman Way on a truck and dump them here for you. There's over 300 44-gallon drums here, all named by the different ones that order the fuel, so you can imagine the traffic up and down the Canning Stuck Road. What John's doing is pumping it into mine. He's filled his, he's filled his 2 jerry cans, and it's only mine to be filled now, but I think I should take around about 100 litres. And after that, we're right, no problem. So that's well 23.
What an oasis! Campsites like this one at a spot called Kundakoon Pool are pretty hard to find, and it's a wonderful haven for birds. This fellow doesn't look too friendly. So I think we'll leave him alone. We were lucky to find this shady tree for lunch. It gets pretty hot out here. This is the stunning dry bed of the Red Old River, and you'll be surprised at the beauty and the colour of all the wildflowers that flourish here. Hey Jan, can you pull this tree off the track? Placed here by the Canning Stockred expedition in regards to the warmer, Measure R2. Anyway, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different lots of tribes of Aboriginals. I won't try and say their name because they're too darn hard, I couldn't. But they all shared this Red Old River. And it's
Many local tribes or groups invited those different languages and dialect speakers to inhabit to share the area. The river is also known as the Rudell River, named after the government surveyor and leader of the relief party in the search of the Wells and Company. Jones lost members of the 1896 Culver Scientific Expedition.
It's amazing how you can be in the midst of all this desert and suddenly there appears a carpet of purple wildflowers. Another oasis in this arid country. The Desert Queen Baths are a natural water pool formed between two rocky ledges. This pool, formed by a natural watershed between the two rocky hills, becomes the life-giving water to the wildlife around this rock-strewn area. Weren't we lucky to find these ancient Aboriginal rock paintings? The trek out of the Rudell National Park is very rugged. Care has to be taken not to damage the vehicles or the environment. This is a new bore and the water tastes real good. A mining company installed this bore and we helped ourselves to some very good and much needed water. You have to be quick out here or you get squashed.
What we've got here is the Telfer mine. It's a privately owned one, and this is a privately owned road actually. Not allowed to go into the area where the workings are, anything like that. So we have to go around it, like bypass it. They don't want to know you. They don't want anything to do with it. You're not allowed in there. The only ones allowed are the workers that go in there working all the time. So it's a big, big secret. By golly, must have dug a great big hole in the ground for all the tailings that they took from the topsoil. It goes on for kilometres, huge, great big mountains up. So there we are.
We finally made it into Marble Bar and the area is alive with wildflowers.
We've got Mrs. Milligan. Go ahead, please.
Oh, that's you, Mose?
Hi, darling.
I'm speaking from Marble Bar by Flying Doctor Radio, love. Over.
Where are you? Oh,
I'm at Marble Bar, and I'm speaking over the Flying Doctor Radio to you. Over.
oh. And how are you? Over.
I'm very well. We're having a wonderful time. It's absolutely terrific. Over.
Over. Well, I haven't been too well. Over.
What's the matter, love? What's the matter? What's been the trouble? Over.
I've been over in the, I was a fortnight, I had bronchitis, and then I went over to the hostel for a fortnight. Over.
That's no darn good. Are you feeling any better though? You seem a bit croaky. Are you any better? Over.
Oh, yes, I lost my voice, but everything is okay now, thanks, darling. I've been worried since, because I was worrying how you were. Over.
Well, there's no need to, because the hard part's done. We've gone right across the desert, or over. We're more or less in civilization now. There's no need to worry, love. Well, I better not wait too much to call, because it's, sometimes the lines get busy through the radio. I just want to let you know that everything's okay. Over.
All right, darling, I'm quite okay. Everything is okay. Nothing's happened at all since you've been away. Over.
Thank you. Well, I'll cut it off now, and I'll sign off. Okay, love? Okay, everything out and over. Over.
Right, over.
Thank you.
a waterhole where some of the locals are cooling off.
That's jasper. That's how Marble Bar got its name, because it's so much like marble. People used to think it was marble. So they named the place Marble Bar, and this was the bar itself. You watch that piece of jasper, I'll splash water on it, you see what it looks like. There, the colour comes up. Bright and brilliant. Just like marble. Well, that's how Marble Bar got its name, by this stone all around the place. Also, by the way, Marble Bar gets to a temperature of 53 plus sometimes, so that's pretty hot.
The government offices at Marble Bar have been beautifully restored. They were originally built of local stone. Well, that's the first part of our trip over, and we're now heading for Coral Bay. The small resort of Coral Bay is a coastal retreat providing an ideal base from which to explore the beautiful coral formations and the tropical fish of Ningaloo Marine Park. Ningaloo Reef forms a rugged line of coral winding down the coast on the western side of the Cape Range Peninsula. The reef is the largest in Western Australia, and in 1987 the Ningaloo Marine Park was declared to protect it. About 222 species of coral have built the reef. The coral feeds on tiny plankton produced in the clear, warm ocean. The coral reef fish of Ningaloo are among the most colourful and beautiful pattern of all living creatures. What a frenzy when we went on deck to feed the spangled emperor fish which had been following our boat all the way. White sandy beaches and crystal clear waters make Ningaloo Marine Park a diving and a snorkelling paradise. Low and irregular rainfall and limited fresh water supplies mean that the animals of the Cape Range Peninsula are adapted to living in very harsh conditions.
At the moment, we're at a place called Windabandy Creek, or Windabandy Beach. Go around there to the point, further around there is on the end of the Cape Range National Park, and then further on right towards the point is Exmouth. It's a pretty breezy day, it's very fine, you know, got little white clouds about, but it's a very, very nice cloud. As a matter of fact, this breeze takes the temperature away quite a bit. We just came down from the track on the main track going through the coast road, down through the sand. We're going to have lunch here. So it'll be very pleasant. There's not many trees, there's no trees to get under for shade or anything, so we thought down here by the beach is the next best shot.
First sighting of kangaroos, inquisitive creatures but very timid. Look at all the dry salt pools. They're formed when the rainwater dissolves the salt on the ground and then evaporates.
Well, as you can see, it's the Cape Range National Park. We eventually got there. We came up, left this morning from Coral Bay, and we hope to go through the range, the national park here, and look for wildflowers. Okay, well, here we are at the Cape Range National Park at the moment. Okay, Pete.
As you can see, we're camped, which we believe is beside an Aboriginal burial ground. There's a couple of the bones they point at us, the shells. There's a poor skull of one poor devil, I don't know, and shells and different bric-a-brac that they've gathered. But we're camped pretty well on the sea. I don't think you'll be able to hear it, but we're camped on the shores of the Cape Range at a place called the Turquoise Beach. Magnificent it is. It's got one half is beautiful, lovely sand, and the other one is all rocks. And it's about the closest spot where the outer reef comes in near the shore. It's been a great day, and well, there we are. I just hope the spooks don't get us tonight. Okay? Right.
Big guy. Hey.
Looks like the wildflowers are so thick that he has to mow them down.
This is something that I think some of you people may be interested in. I just want to show you this, what they call a cattle grid. Now, generally speaking, they're made of railway lines and things like that, where cattle can't walk over because they get their foot caught in it. Now and again you come across these where it's only lines painted on, see? It's only lines painted on the road, and the cattle won't go over it. No way in the world, because they think that it's fair dinkum, and it just holds them in either this side or that side of the fence, whichever one they're on. They will not go over that, even though they can really walk on it because it's only lines painted on the road. I just thought that it's just a little bit of an interest for you. Okay. as you can see, I've arrived at the entrance to the Karajini National Park. That's the national park that surrounds the Wittenoon and the Hammersley Gorges area. It's been a bit of partly bitumen in. Now we're on what it should be. Good dirt roads now. So we're looking for wildflowers and gorges and what have you, and let's hope that the weather stays like this. It's perfect. Just a gentle breeze. Ah yes, we're having a marvellous time. Okay, well I hope you're with me.
These are the little spinifex doves we came across at our campsite in the Hammersley Ranges.
Take half a day to do. Sit down. Right, now we've reached the junction of the Weenie and the Hancock Gorge and the Hammersley Ranges. It's a beautiful day. You have to climb down the bottom of the gorge up that end or possibly go up there. It's a lovely big ghost gun. You can see in the background down there. There's a pool of water, and you can probably hear the tinkling of the little waterfall. Lots of little tadpoles in the water. And the rock structure, it's not volcanic, it's strata layer from the ocean. It's risen up from the ocean years and years ago. So it's very, very interesting. Very interesting. You've got to watch your footsteps though, because it's very all shaley top rock. Okay. That's the Hammersley Range, they're part of it.
Look, beautiful clear water.
Well, we've been down to the end of this, I think this is the Hancock Gorge. We're right to the very end. It's almost something like the Echidna Chasm for the bungles, only a different type of rock. And almost hands to at either side to get down a very narrow gorge area where water's running on the water. And there's a big pool where you couldn't get around. It was right up to the rock, there's no part. That was the end of the trip. So we came back, but it was beautiful, lovely. Yes, you'd have to go around to see it. It's terrific. Beautiful day, beautiful. Yeah. Oh, I'm glad I came.
Gonna fall away soon.
Well, this is Kalimna Gorge, and what you're looking at now is a wonderful example of sedimentary layer that was in the bottom of the ocean eons and eons ago. See how it sort of twists and turns with the formation of the bottom of the ocean. And over years and years, the water's dropped and the ground rose up, and that's what we got.
Oh shit, right here, there's a brown stone. You see it?
What's the cassette?
Just wanted to show and explain how the formation of these rocks are. As you've noticed, it's all in layers, sedimentary layers. Now this rock down there, you'd say it was solid rock. To prove it, I'll drop this on it and you'll hear the hollow tone of it. See that? All hollow. Gives a bounce, a certain amount of resistance to it. Well, that was Kalimna Gorge. But it was a beauty, wasn't it? Eh? Lovely. All sedimentary rocks. And a beautiful arch right at the very finish. Waterfalls and water pools. Little fish in it. Terrific. Yep, will do, mate. having morning tea now at the moment. We've been through the Parabadoo mine. Parabadoo, like cockadoo, Timbuktu. It just rolls off your tongue, doesn't it? Well, it does mine. We went through the mine, and I'll tell you this, it was incredibly dusty on the roads, but the main tracks where all these huge Euclid dump trucks were, it was up against a mountain, literally a full big mountain of iron. And I understand there's enough iron there working full time to last for 100 years. I think you may have noticed on the track before we came into the mine, there was a big mine, not a mine, a big ore train being loaded. And I understand that from those huge mountains on the near the Parabadoo mine where we saw, which is right next door to the railway, they load them on endless belts. And the load, they have these endless belts traverse across about half a dozen big bunkers. They fill these big bunkers, and these bunkers are just big enough to fully load the trucks and the train. And they fill up the six of them, and then when they're fully loaded with the train just right underneath it, they tip right over, load the train, and then the train moves forward, and then the trucks reverse back again, and while they're filling it, the train moves on another 6 carriages. Otherwise it'd be 40 days and 40 nights because the train's about 5 k's long. Anyway, that's beside the point. That's how they fill the train. But the Parabadoo mine, it was, as I say, unbelievably dusty. But the ore was just huge mountains of it. So we went in on the east gate and come out on the west, and now we're heading towards Mount Elephant on a bit of a roughish sort of a track. And we get to Mount Elephant, hopefully, to see some more different species of wildflowers. So, good drinking, folk.
At last we reached the Ashburton River. Dry, of course, this far upstream. It must be a mighty sight in full flood.
long day, but I think this looks like a good camp spot. Any shade, level. No, yeah, I think it's a good spot. That's it. Afternoon tea served. Gentlemen, ladies and me. Beautiful. Supposed to put it on here, not wave it.
Something there somewhere.
The flies were so bad we threw some dry camel dung on our morning fire to get rid of them. It worked, but we did smell a little bit from the rest of the day.
Just come about 80 or 90 k's this morning since where we stayed last night, and virtually every bit of it was covered by this nothing but just gravel and stone. These early explorers that opened up the country, they must have been one of the hardest groups of people I've ever come across, because they're not doing it on a four-wheel drive, they're doing it on horseback and on shanks of pony. I've never come across a place that's so devoid of life, really, as far as the ground was concerned. Admittedly, you get wildflowers, maybe that's why they grow there, just nothing else will. And for cattle, I don't see how a goat can live, let alone cattle. Still, it's all part of it. Matter of fact, going back in the early days, when the Dutch settlers used to touch on the fringe of Western Australia, they didn't think much of it. We'd have been talking Dutch now if they had come around the east coast. They didn't want it. I don't blame them in a way either. But it's got its own beauty, I must say, I must admit. It's pretty harsh, real harsh. However, enough of this business.
As far as you can see, it's a carpet of colour. Emus! Can't they run? Look at them go!
We're now camped in a little private camp, bush camp, where we came to in a little side wall, a little side track off the main one, just south of Mullawa. On the, hopefully it's on the what they call the Wildflower Way, they call it. Now in the morning it was quite a heavy dew last night. Everything got wet, and you notice on these desert type bushes, the leaves are long and spindly, well, they all get wet with the dew. And as the sun rises and the dew starts to melt, well, not actually melt, but starts to evaporate a bit, the dew will run down the leaf onto the branch, and it'll go down the branch till it goes down into the stem. And all the water that's in these leaves runs down to the main stem, and it goes down into the ground. That's where they get the feed of they're made that way that they pick up every amount of moisture they can get because they need it out here.
Everywhere you look, there are masses of brightly coloured wildflowers. This area we are now travelling through is called the Wildflower Way, and everywhere you look there is an endless variety of unique and colourful wildflowers.
In the Western Australia, the poorer the soil seems to bring out the best in the wildflowers, and they differ. Some's real bushy and thick, others like these, they're rangy, but more, they're just beautiful, just the same, and they range from there down to a tiny little plant, just a little heath type plant on the ground. All colours, all shapes and sizes.
This field is not full of wildflowers, but a cultivated crop of canola. This is used in the production of cooking oil. These emus are unaware of our presence and wander timidly through our campsite. Most of Australia's coastline is very rugged and treacherous. We were very fortunate to see these whales passing so close to the coast on their way south. They come here each year between April and October to breed in the warmer waters of the Nullarbor coast.
Well, I'm afraid this could be our last bush camp. We've had many and enjoyed them all. They've all got their own aspects of beauty and comfort. Some, a really bush, are right away from everybody else. But we've had a great time. It's a wonderful time. And I must give my credits to our cook. She's fed us marvellously today. Terrific. Yep. Most of the bush camps have been fires. The rest of the time we've had to use the gas. However, as I say, this looks like the last one of this time, so we'll look forward to the next time we go, and we'll find another space to go, somewhere else, something new, because it's in our blood. We love it. Okay.